it opened my eyes to so many different languages of art and languages of ideas and languages of sentiment.
That fantasia, that imagination, that ability to find new things, to open a door to a room that you didn't know was there.
It was the first time I'd heard Bob Dylan sing, and it was so ugly. It was so not Peter, Paul and Mary. Hearing him doing, and the times they are changing.
It wasn't until I was probably 17 or 18 I even knew that Leonard Cohen wrote music. That's how kind of behind I was in music terms.
Everything in my being was going, well, how can you say that? Can you sing like that? Can you talk like that? And something awoke, he woke something up in me.
I can't quite remember the words, but I do remember Auntie Rotta and her sidekick, but there was this swinging song called Hey diddle diddle, here comes Popper, so up with your chopper and split him down the middle.
I come from an Irish ancestry. Ireland was occupied, for nearly 1,000 years. So there's 1,000 years of songs of resistance and struggle and rebellion and heroic failure.
We would all go into a music room we had at the house and we'd play after dinner, and it was just a kind of thing that we did. It was fun. I'm not sure that the neighbours thought it was so fabulous after 11 o'clock at night.
The Australian government bought Blue Poles, I think, for $1.3 million. And I remember my dad at the breakfast table opening the newspaper and just going ballistic.
The first album I bought was Let It Be by the Beatles. It was like a sacred object. I poured over every aspect of it, the photos, the words, and you're kind of trying to glean some additional meaning that probably wasn't there.
I do remember on little masonite boards that were lying around the house actually starting to try to do little drip paintings, and they were dreadful. So I thought maybe a child couldn't do this.
I remember retaining a lot of the routines in my head. And when Monty Python kicked in when I was a teenager also, I mean, at school you would recite all the skits that you saw the night before.
Jack Kerouac was a man of his age and his time. Now we're in a different time. We've gone somewhere else. I feel like we're waiting for something else to happen now.
We went to our English teacher then, a guy called Brian Carl, and said we want to, for our senior project, do a multimedia celebration of the International Year of Women, which is what 1975 was. And his kind of eyes widened and thought, what are these Christian Brothers schoolboys doing? And I kind of think that was probably the first little festival that I ever staged.
He always had something in his hand. When you look at his work, you feel the sense of the modelling, the making, the manipulating of the material.
In opera, for instance, a lot of the work is done for us because the score's written and we just ride over the top. Whereas in something like comedy, you really make your own music and your own rhythm, and you rely on creating an atmosphere almost from nothing.
His songs were considered so inflammatory and reactionary that the regime killed him.
You feel as though sometimes that he's just grabbing the piano by the scruff of the neck and really making it do whatever he wants.
He made you feel comfortable. He was like this perfect conduit to a world that sometimes can be prohibitive.
The songs are being written and sung, and people are giving voice to their aspirations or their fears or their dreams.
You kind of get swept away with the storytelling, and I love that.
Nobody wants to see me dance, but sometimes you just got to do it.